Hi, and welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and in this video, we're going to take a look at the two-player game Unmatched Jurassic Park, designed by Rob Davio and Justin Jacobson, and published by Restoration Games and Mondo Games, who helped sponsor this video. To be clear, bringing back the dinosaurs is a terrible idea, unless you're trying to make an awesome movie franchise or a board game, and that's what we have here in this standalone expansion for Unmatched. Unmatched is a game that began with Battle of Legends Volume 1, but now includes a series of sets that can be mixed and matched, combining new characters and locations. Jurassic Park is a standalone game for just 2 players, but its characters can be used with any of the other sets, including in a 4-player team game if you have one of the bigger boxes. Now, to learn how to play Unmatched, check out the full tutorial we have for the original game, which is linked in the description below. But here, I'm going to take you on a tour of the characters and locations this set introduces. So join me at the table, and let's take a look. Okay, first up, we have a 2-player board showing the Raptor paddock, where the dinosaurs are meant to be safely stored, but of course, they've broken out and they're running amok all over the whole board. This map also introduces a new feature, one-way paths. These can only be traveled in the direction of the arrow. Now, the spaces they connect to are still considered adjacent for all other effects, but I couldn't move, for example, from this space back over to here because I'd be going against the arrow. The exception to this rule with the arrows is if you're using a figure classified as large. Now, there are none in this set, but in future sets, you may have clearly labeled large figures, and they break these rules and can move both directions on these paths. Another new feature in this set is the introduction of a 3-part hero. Normally, you have one hero figure and maybe some sidekicks, but if you're the Raptors, you have a team of 3 different miniatures, and each are considered a hero, and they have their own health dial. And you can distinguish which health dial belongs to which dinosaur based on the shadow outline you see here that matches their miniature. As soon as one of these are defeated, you remove it from the board as usual, but you only lose the game once all 3 are defeated. That said, if an effect would ever affect your hero, that applies to all of your Raptors. But now let's take a closer look at the stats on their card and see what's in their deck. Each of these has a starting health of 7 and they perform melee attacks. Also, their ability gives them +1 to their attack cards for each other Raptor adjacent to the target of an attack. So if this Raptor was attacking in a formation like this, where there's 2 adjacent Raptors, that would be +2. You definitely don't want to be surrounded by these. They use these pack skills in other ways as well. For example, Clever Girl is a card that gains you an extra action if there's at least one other Raptor adjacent to the target of your attack. Other abilities will help you surround your prey. For example, if you're being attacked and you play Decoy, in addition to helping you defend yourself, the ability then says that you move one of your Raptors adjacent to the attacking fighter. These are intelligent creatures as well. Working things out lets you move each of your Raptors up to 3 spaces, including through opposing fighters, which you normally can't do. And then after all that movement, you gain an additional action. But along with being intelligent, they're also just plain deadly, with 2 of these value 5 attacks in their deck, and these seemingly low value attack cards that actually force your opponent to discard a random card from their hand, but then you add its boost value to your attack. And here are a few of their other cards that I'll leave on screen for you to examine for yourself, so just pause if you'd like to read the details or want to examine the artwork. Facing off against those Raptors, we have Robert Muldoon and his 3 Ingen worker sidekicks, and all these fighters are ranged, and Robert starts with a health of 14. He also has 8 of these trap tokens, and at the start of each of his turns, he can place a trap token on any unoccupied space of his zone. That space can't have other figures in it or any other types of tokens, including other traps. If an opposing fighter enters a space with a trap for any reason, the trap goes off and the affected fighter must stop their current movement and take 1 damage. The trap is then removed from the board and returned to the box. These trap rules are also on a card that you can keep nearby, which is pretty handy when you're first learning how to use them. And also, as a part of Muldoon's special ability, after a trap is removed from play, Muldoon gets to draw a card. Just keep in mind, you only have 8 traps, and once you run out, you can't place any more. And ones that are triggered do not go back in your supply, they're just removed from the game. Now though, let's see what tricks Muldoon has in his deck. We saw how dinosaurs can act as a pack, but Muldoon can use his traps in a similar way. They Should All Be Destroyed is already a tough 4-value attack card, but gets +1 for each trap adjacent to the target fighter. Shoot Her has an effect that rewards quick action, increasing its value from 3 to 5 if it's the first action you take during a turn. Muldoon and his team also have several ways to avoid being cornered by enemies. This card, for example, lets you move each of your fighters up to 5 spaces and even go through opposing fighters. With Leap Away, assuming you win a combat, you also can use this to get a single fighter out or into harm's way by moving it up to 4 spaces. We saw that traps are dangerous when you land on them, but with remote detonation, you pick any trap in the same zone as any one of your workers, and then you detonate that trap, causing 1 damage to each adjacent enemy fighter, returning that trap to the box. But now let's look at a few other cards you'll find when using this deck. And that should give you a pretty good idea of what you can expect in the Jurassic Park set for Unmatched. If you have any questions about anything you saw here, feel free to put them in the comments below and I'll gladly answer them as soon as I get a chance. You'll also find videos on this channel for several of the other expansions in this series, so check the description for links to those. And if you found this video helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, and clicking that little bell icon so you get notification each time we put up a new video. But until next time, thanks for watching.